Man, that's such an iconic sax line, and it's so much fun to learn on saxophone. And the great thing is, even if you're pretty new to saxophone, it's achievable because it only uses a few notes, and there's really only like 4 little melodic ideas in there, or 4 melody building blocks that you need to know. So in this lesson today, I'm going to walk you through and show you how to play it step by step on the alto saxophone so that you can play this iconic tune as well. Awesome. Hey, if you're new here, don't forget to click subscribe, hit the bell notification button as well so you find out about new lessons that are coming up. Right, let's get started. G'day, Nigel here from Sax School. I love Baker Street. You know, it's funny, we've got thousands of students in Sax School and hundreds of lessons and like 60-something courses in there. But the lesson that comes up most often that people talk about a lot, it's Baker Street. And I get it, I know why, because it's such a fun tune to play. Not only for you as a saxophone player, but also to share with friends and family, because everybody knows this opening line. It's so iconic. So it's really a great tune to learn, and even if you are pretty new to saxophone, it's definitely worth having a shot at learning it because it only uses a few notes. Now there are a few little points in here that everybody gets caught up on. So in today's lesson I'm going to show you how to get over those as well and walk you through it really step by step. So there's 4 main phrases. Let's get stuck in learning the very first one. And that is the very first 2-bar phrase. So if we look at the music, that's starting here and that's going through to here. So, oops, my neck strap sorted out. So that first phrase, it sounds like this. It goes 1, 2. Now the notes are pretty straightforward in there actually, but it's the little extra bits, that make all the difference in here. So we're starting off on this D down here, our middle D. Now middle D, octave key is pretty much on the whole way through this thing we're going to learn today. But we've got 6 fingers down, okay? 6 fingers down, and that's our middle D. So that's the first note. The second note up here is our octave D, our high D, and that's the one we play with our palm key. So I've got my thumb on the octave key at the back, and then I'm using this key here with my palm like this. So from this D up to this D. Okay, now the magic is what happens in between those 2 notes. It sounds like this if I play it in time. But if I slow it down, this is what's happening. So you probably spotted it. It's just a D major scale. It's really, really easy. So for the fingers, what's happening is I'm going from D to E to F sharp, so middle finger F sharp, then to G, A, B, C sharp, and then up to that palm key D. Now if you keep your fingers really close to the keys and practice getting that even, then it's going to sound really good when you speed it up. So after this D, we go on to the next note here, which is our C sharp, and then we go B, A, and then up to the B again. But when we hit the B, we're going to play the B, and then we're going to go up to the C sharp and back to the B again. So the most important thing to remember here, apart from this gliss happening between the D and the octave D, is that we are tonguing every single note here. Okay, so we're going to tongue this D. We're not going to tongue that because we've glissed up to it, but we're going to tongue the C sharp, we're going to tongue this B, we're going to tongue that A, and then we're going to tongue this B, but because we hold it, then we go up to C sharp and back to the B, that's the only one that we're going to tongue. So it's ta, 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 ta. Should we try playing it together? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, cool. So that's the first phrase. Now the second phrase uses lots of the same notes actually. It's just a slightly different shape. So we're now going to start on this D and go through to this F sharp. So a lot of the same notes you're going to recognize here. So we're starting off by going D, up to octave D, that palm key, remember, down to C sharp, then B, A, and then down to F sharp. And here we tongue the D, tongue the next D, tongue the C sharp, we tongue the B, but you notice how the B is connected to the A with that curved line there, that tie or slur. So we don't tongue the A, but we do tongue the F sharp. Ta, 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 ta. Oh, I'm having a dodgy time on my high D today. Okay, so we tongue the D, tongue the high D, C sharp, tongue the B, slur to the A, then down to the F sharp. 1, 2. Okay, so 2 phrases down. Now, you can see that it's really not just about the notes. You also need to get the articulation right, the tonguing, and you also need to think about those things like the slur up. We're going from the middle D up to the high D and getting that right. And those little elements, when you put them together, that's really what makes it pop. So I've got a question for you. What's your favorite pop sax solo? What's your favorite one? I like Baker Street. There's a lot of other ones I like too. But you know, pop solos are something that we focus on a lot in sax school because they're so great for your learning. And you can develop your skills while having a lot of fun playing pop solos. So what's your favorite one? Let me know in a comment because I'm always keen to discover some new ones. Right, let's get stuck in learning the 3rd phrase in this opening section. So in our music, this is going to start from the F sharp here, and it's going to run through to this F sharp here. So let me just play it for you. So it sounds like this: 2, 3, 4, 1. There's a couple of cool things happening in here. First of all, the notes are notes we already know. It's very similar to the shape of the melodies we've played previously. But those A's with the scoops on, that's really the magic part. Let's take a look at what's actually going on in there. So we start off on an F sharp and we go F sharp up to high D, palm key again, octave key, C sharp, and then B, A. And then the next bar is A, F sharp. So let's play that, but without the scoops. So going from this F sharp here, we go 3, 4, 1. Okay, that's cool. Now the bit that really makes this work though is those scoops. So for those A's to get the wow, 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 I'm relaxing my jaw and letting the pitch drop and then tightening it back up to bring it into tune. So okay, so I'm starting with it down and then picking it up on every single note. So this bar here sounds like this now. 3, 4. Now the other thing I'll tell you is that I'm actually not tonguing. I'm tonguing the first A, then I'm not tonguing any more of those A's until we get down to that F sharp. So let's take it back to here now and let's see if we can play all the way through that phrase. But we're going to use our tonguing and we're going to use the scoops as well. Here we go. 2, 3, 4. All right, cool. Sounds great when you get those extra features in there like the scoops. So let's look at the very last phrase now. Now that's actually going to start from here and just go down to here. And it's all the notes that we already know. So it starts on the F sharp and it goes. So F sharp up to palm key D again, C sharp, and then B A, and then B C sharp, and then another B, but we do a big scoop on that one. Okay, so let's just run through those notes one more time. So F sharp up to D, down to C sharp, and then we tongue the B, but now the next A, this is an important thing to notice. This A here, we don't actually tongue it because, can you see it's connected with that curved tie or slur? So we tongue the B, we slur down to the A, and then we tongue the B, same here, slur to the C sharp, and then we tongue the last B with a big scoop up. So it's ta, 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 big scoop up to a ta. Let's just try it from there. So here we go. 3, 4, 1. Okay, let's take it back to the beginning of the solo and just finish up the lesson now by playing it through in time. I tell you what, actually, we're going to play it a little bit slower than the full tempo, which is about 100 beats a minute. So let's back it right down to about 70 beats a minute and see if we can play it through. Now, when we are playing it through, I want you to think about the tonguing, making sure you tongue all the notes that need to be tongued. I want you to think about the scoops, okay? And I also want you to think about having some real attitude when you're playing, so giving it lots of energy. Imagine you're on stage with Gerry Rafferty and you're giving it loads of welly. That's the sort of sound I want you to try and get on your saxophone wherever you happen to be playing today. Okay? Sound like fun? Here we go. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So there you have it. Those are the 4 phrases that make up the first half of this opening solo. Now the second half of the solo is also based on those same 4 phrases, and also the rest of the whole track, all the saxophone parts are kind of based on these 4 phrases. So now that you know those, you can go ahead and work out all the rest of the saxophone parts on this tune. So make sure you grab the worksheet so you've got the notes in front of you and spend some time working through that, but also listening to the original recording and seeing if you can work out all the rest of the parts throughout this whole tune. It's such a great tune to share with your family and friends. And also don't forget to check out the other lessons on my channel here and also over on the blog at mcgillmusic.com, because there's tons of stuff in there to help you whether you want to learn more pop tunes or develop skills like improvising. And of course inside Sax School, if you want to take things up a next level, there's a bunch of stuff in there to help you too. Alright, hope you enjoyed this lesson. Make sure you leave me a comment below, let me know, and click the subscribe button if you're new here. Practice hard. Catch you next time.